Part 78. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 771. Zuyun has never felt such pressure since he became an immortal. Unprecedented. His mind was shattered with fear. If he was still in the pill-forming stage, he might not be able to escape the pressure of the thunder escape technique in more than 200 steps. Teleport. Zuyun did not hesitate, almost instinctively, and fled to the dragon's tail. But the coercion quickly changed direction and continued to come overwhelmingly towards Zuyun. Didn't you say that the demon cultivators from the East Sheng realm are easy to talk to? Why are you pressing me to death before we even meet? Zuyun cursed in his heart, knowing that there must be a misunderstanding, so he could only save his life first. He followed the Longmei mountain and escaped back the same way. But that coercion is as persistent as the erosion of the bones. Not only that, he also saw more than 20 figures coming from that direction, living on both sides of the dragon vein ridge, apparently trying to surround him. Attacked from two sides, Zuyun has only one way left to go. Damn it, what should I do? You didn't even give me a chance to speak. Zuyun gritted his teeth, feeling like he was on a roller coaster. I thought it was a demon king dealing with the nightmare demon. Unexpectedly, this demon king was waiting for him with dozens of demon kings. And looking at this formation, the demon king and the other demon kings have no tendency to stop at all. Zuyun had no choice but to teleport crazily. At the same time, he was extremely certain that this must have been instigated by the nightmare demon. Damn it, this nightmare monster actually has such extraordinary abilities. How did he do it? The more he ran for his life, the more Zuyun felt the terror of the nightmare demon. Based on strength, this is impossible. The nightmare demon can't even defeat itself. No wonder the Nine-Tailed Fox clan and the Medicine King Valley Master became so angry when talking about the nightmare demon. 2. The nightmare demon might not have any strategy, so why would he want to find the 5 elements of Chaos Sutra? While running, Zuyun was thinking wildly, until Zuyun ran to the seaside and reached the dragon's head. There is no retreat ahead. Is it possible to escape all the way back to Yunzhou? This is absolutely impossible. No matter how much spiritual power Zuyun had, it could not compare to the demon power that the Demon King had cultivated after living for countless years. So now, there is only one way to go, and that is to find a bird. But then I thought about it, Niao is the demon saint in the spiritual world. After the demon soul is divided into 2 halves, the strength may not be as strong as the Demon King, let alone there are so many Demon Kings. What if the Demon King even beats a Niao, and he will have no place to cry? We can only think of another way. Zuyun suddenly jumped off Longshao Mountain, turned around and glanced at the sky, and the pressure was like billowing dark clouds, pressing over fiercely. Just as he was about to teleport to another place, he saw the huge eyes on the dragon head above his head suddenly glowing red. What followed was an eternal and profound sound. Ma clan, why do you want to act so recklessly in the ancestral land of our dragon clan? Zuyun was suddenly startled, stood firm, stopped, and saw the red light shooting out, rushing into the clouds, and directly dyeing the clouds red. Hold head high. Hold head high. Hold head high. In the red mist, dragon roars came from one after another, and they rushed towards the black cloud-like pressure. Dragon suppressing stone, I passed by this place and killed a young member of the clan. Please forgive me if I have offended you. The horse demon king shouted sharply, but his words gave the dragon vain face. The human boy you are talking about is the person under my dragon head. The dragon head, known as the dragon suppressing stone, suddenly lowered his head and stared at Zuyun with his red eyes. But Zuyun discovered it. There was a deep fear in his eyes. He is. Be afraid of beating the dragon whip. Zuyun was overjoyed, looking at the red mist and black clouds intertwining in the sky, as if they were indistinguishable. So, did I have a chance to speak? But I never thought that the horse demon king gave a cold shout and said, "Dragon suppressing stone, you are just the dragon clan's mountain protecting stone. I will explain to you that I have already given the dragon king face. Now that the dragon king is not here, are you qualified to block my actions?" Horse demon king. Hearing these unkind words, Xianxia also said angrily, "Although the Dragon King is no longer here, I have been nourished by the essence and blood of the Dragon clan for thousands of years, and I have long regarded myself as a member of the Dragon clan. This son is a distinguished guest of my Dragon clan. If you want to attack him, don't blame me for being rude." "Ha ha ha, you're welcome." The horse demon king laughed wildly and stretched out his hand to turn it over, only to see that the pressure suddenly rose, and the black clouds that were originally entangled with the red mist were devoured crazily at an overwhelming speed. "I am easy to talk to, but if you dare to protect the young people who killed my people, I will kill you as well." Remove the coercion, and murderous intent arose in the sky. Almost at the same moment, the chasing demon kings also arrived, and they landed directly on the dragon's head without any fear. When they fell, they turned into their true bodies one after another. Demonic horses of various forms trampled the dragon's head with their four hooves, making a loud rumbling sound. Zuyun looked terrified, as if the dragon's head would be trampled off in the next moment. And Dragonhead was even more furious. "Horse Demon King, if you dare to destroy me today, you will become a feud with the Dragon clan. As long as you go to Tianweishan, I, the Dragon clan, will kill you without mercy. Humph, today my horse clan will behead your head first." The Horse Demon King shouted coldly, and rushed towards the red mist with demonic power. Zuyun knew that when the red mist cleared, he would die. There isn't much time left for him. At this time, the dragon head roared at Zuyun, "Boy, use the dragon trap formation quickly." Zuyun was stunned, trapped in the dragon formation? "How can I use it?" When the dragon leader saw this, he realized that he was anxious. Although Zuyun had a dragon whip, how did he know about the trapped dragon formation when he first arrived here? It might as well be that the nightmare demon has been entrenched for many years and used countless methods to control him. But fortunately, as soon as Zuyun arrived, he broke the trapped dragon formation and drove away the nightmare demon with the formation's counterattack. In this case, the dragon suppressing stone is an ownerless thing. And he can naturally recognize Zuyun as his master. Suddenly, a red light flew out from between the dragon's head and eyebrows, rushing straight towards Zuyun. The speed was so fast that even Zuyun couldn't react. "Boy, let me enter your left forearm." The dragon head roared, and Zuyun subconsciously raised his left hand, and the red light suddenly shot towards Zuyun's forearm. The red light dissipated, but a boundless pain came from where the red light penetrated. It was like a file filing through his flesh and drilling through his bones. He looked down and saw a square stone seal left on his forearm. "Now, you can fully control the trapped dragon formation." As soon as the dragon suppressing stone was said, an extremely complicated formation pattern immediately appeared in Zuyun's mind. Before Zuyun could carefully comprehend the magical effects of these formation patterns, the method of controlling the formation appeared in his mind at the same time. Trapped dragon formation. Zuyun knew that this was not the time to study the formation, but to use the dragon trap formation first to calm down the Horse Demon King and all the Horse Demon Kings. He stretched out his hand and skillfully formed a formation. Boom! A loud noise came from the sky. Countless red mist dispersed the red light, returned to grey and fell into the back of the dragon vein. Boom! There was another loud noise, and the entire Longmei mountain seemed to come to life. Retreat! 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 This scene was earth-shattering. The Horse Demon King's expression suddenly changed, and he quickly shouted at the men who were standing at the dragon's head and trampling on him. The Demon King instantly retreated behind the Horse Demon Emperor, and the dragon veins had turned into a stone dragon. The dragon's head had a huge mouth, and a pair of big eyes stared at the horse demon emperor. Dragon suppressing stone, you actually recognized a human ant as your master? If the dragon emperor knew about it, how would you explain it? The horse demon king looked wary and said to the huge dragon head, I don't know how I will answer the question in the future. All I know is that I do not recognize this human race as my master. I am afraid that I will have to answer to you today. You. The horse demon king gritted his teeth and said angrily, this human boy teamed up with another person to seriously injure Ma San. If you protect him, you will be the enemy of our horse demon clan, and we will be our enemies for generations. Impossible, Xianxia said coldly, if it weren't for this human boy, I would still be controlled by the nightmare demon, and I would never be able to stand up again. Nightmare. Hearing these two words, the horse demon king was shocked, and even the demon kings behind him showed incredible expressions. That's right, it's the nightmare. The dragon suppressing stone showed disdain in his eyes and said, you 11 demon tribes have been unable to kill the nightmare demon for so many years. How can you show off your power in front of my dragon suppressing stone? Dragon suppressing stone. Being ridiculed by a stone, the Ma demon emperor naturally lost his composure and said angrily, you said this kid has defeated the nightmare demon? Be careful that you have been fooled by him. Another companion of this person, kill Ma San, and then I want to go to the rabbit clan. This is what Ma San told me through the totem pole. The human race is so cunning, don't believe his words. Ha ha ha, ridiculous, ridiculous. The dragon head looked up to the sky and laughed, and then said, no matter how cunning the human race is, can it be compared to the nightmare demon? Let me tell you, the nightmare demon has just returned from the land of the human race. It is obvious that he has acquired some human skills. He can already fully transform into a human. This will cover up the evil smell on your body so that we can't even smell it. I won't believe what you say, nightmare demon. Everyone in Dongsheng realm can kill him. But no matter what, when that person comes to our land of the horse clan, the spiritual aura on his body is exactly the same as the kid you are protecting. Zuyun had been watching from the sidelines, the trapped dragon formation was rising, and the demon cultivators such as the horse demon emperor did not continue to take action, so he was not in a hurry. And when he heard this, he understood immediately. Sure enough, it was the nightmare monster. Spiritual energy aura, nightmare demon can now use chaos power. And where he flew towards the dragon's tail with all his strength, he did not cover up his whereabouts at all. Therefore, when he arrived at Dragon Tail, the horse demon king immediately took action against him. Senior Demon Emperor. At this time, Zuyun knew it was time to show up. Even if the dragon suppressing stone takes the initiative to recognize him as its master and is willing to protect him, it won't solve the problem at all. Zuyun spoke out and immediately attracted the attention of the demon cultivators. Under the gaze of everyone, he stood up and said loudly, Senior, the nightmare demon is looking for human skills in the Peepa realm. What a coincidence, what the nightmare demon learned is exactly the same as the kid. Previously at this time, the nightmare monster injured one of my friends, who was also a demon cultivator of the horse demon clan, so I immediately attacked him. He was no match for me, so I wanted to use Trap Dragon Town to deal with me, but I also trapped the dragon formation. Broken, this is the first time I know about him. Having said this, Zuyun raised his forearms. A red light suddenly appeared, and the huge dragon head nodded slightly. Zuyun continued, originally, the boy chased to the Ma clan's ancestral land just to kill the nightmare demon and get rid of it once and for all. But I didn't expect that the nightmare demon had already infiltrated the horse clan and used conspiracy and tricks. Boy, the horse demon king waved his hand to interrupt Zuyun's words, saying, you and that person are both talking nonsense. There are a total of 34 people in the realm of demon kings in my horse clan. This emperor left Ma San in the clan and sent 3 more people back. If you don't know how to count, then count carefully. How many demon kings are there here? Zuyun was stunned, and then suddenly realized. He thought and immediately summoned Lao Ma from the immortal mansion. Lao Ma's injuries were considered to have recovered under the effect of the wood spirit power, but his spirit was still a little sluggish. This was the effect of the chaos force. Fortunately, Zuyun broke through the nascent soul stage, otherwise he would still be in a coma at this time. Feeling the tense atmosphere all around, but there were dozens of very similar auras, Lao Ma looked up and looked towards the Horse Demon King. And the Horse Demon King also stared at Lao Ma in a daze. For a long while. The Horse Demon King exclaimed, "Second uncle, is that you? I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills." Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 772. Are you, Xiaorongzi? The Horse Demon King exclaimed, "Aren't you suppressing the evil thoughts of the demon saint in the demon refining tower? How come you came out?" As soon as he finished speaking, the Demon King Ma's face changed even more. Did the evil thoughts of the demon saint escape from the demon refining tower? "Second uncle, I didn't run away, I didn't run away." Lao Ma turned to look at Zuyun and said, "Originally he almost ran away, but then he went through a lot of hard work and finally prevented his evil thoughts from succeeding. Now, the demon refining tower is in the Yasha realm and is guarded by several forces. Those evil thoughts, if you want to be resurrected, you have to get out." The Ma Demon King's eyes followed the old horse and turned around, staring at Zuyun, and said, "Boy, you are only in the early stage of nascent soul, how can you command so many Yasha realm demon cultivators?" Zuyun was extremely relaxed at this time. What he didn't expect was that Lao Ma turned out to be the nephew of the Demon Emperor, which would naturally allow him to gain the trust of the other party. He smiled and said, "Senior Demon Emperor, if the evil thoughts of the Demon Saint come, if you go to the mortal world, you will definitely do evil, and when the time comes, not only the human race will suffer, but the Eastern Victory realm will not be much better either. Therefore, it is not the boy who orders the heroes, but everyone is in danger and knows the importance of this matter. I didn't expect that you, a human boy, would be so enlightened." A strange look flashed in the eyes of the Horse Demon Emperor, and then he said, "There are not many humans who come to our Eastern Victory, but most of them come for profit, but they don't provoke our demon tribe, so we let them go." But Zuyun's heart moved and he said, "Senior Demon Emperor, if you have something to say, it doesn't hurt to say it. But, when you said you were looking for the nightmare demon, were you serious?" After learning from Lao Ma that the demon refining tower was in good condition, Demon King Ma was naturally relieved. Then the only one who brought disaster to the eastern Shengjing was the nightmare demon. And if Zuyun's words are true, then the person who hurt Ma San was the nightmare demon. However, he still couldn't figure out why the nightmare demon didn't have any aura of demon clan in it. "Senior, when I came to Dongsheng realm, I was actually entrusted by a senior coach to find something he left behind in the dragon clan's ancestral land." Speaking of this, Zuyun suddenly thought of it again and couldn't help but smile. "I heard from the senior that he seemed to have visited the 11 major demon clans. Maybe the senior demon king also knows him." The Horse Demon Emperor frowned, then relaxed his brows and said, "Could it be that Hu Chong, who claims to be from the Yaoang Valley in the Peepa realm? Hu Chong is the master of Yaoang Valley." Zuyun nodded with a smile. "Looking at you like this, you must have found what he lost." The Demon King Ma saw Zuyun's expression and said, "It can be regarded as a chance encounter. I got it from the Nightmare Demon. Originally, the boy wanted to return to the Yasha realm to return the property to its original owner, but then I thought about it. Lord Hu Valley once said that the Nightmare Demon, also known as the Seven Sins Demon, did evil in the East Sheng realm and destroyed the East. The demon clan in Shengjing united, thinking that they have already come, why not come and take a look? The boy and the nightmare demon made a move before, and found that he was nothing more than that, so they wanted to take advantage of the victory and pursue him, but unexpectedly, they let him run away. As Zuyun spoke, he observed the expressions of the other demon kings of the horse clan. He saw that they were all filled with indignation, and he knew that he had touched on their pain points. If we can gain a foothold on the side of the horse clan, we may be able to unite with other demon clans and kill all the nightmare demons in one fell swoop. Previously, Ma-san told me that the other party is going to the rabbit clan. If he is really the nightmare demon, maybe this is not credible. The nightmare demon is full of tricks. We need to return to our ancestral land as soon as possible, and then I will inform the rest of the royal family. People, keep away. Lao Ma also said, "Second uncle, shall we go there too?" This is natural. If we really want to be on guard against the nightmare demon, perhaps we have to ask this kid to deliver the news. The horse demon king glanced at Zuyun, and then said to the dragon suppressing stone, "It's just that the dragon suppressing stone takes the initiative to recognize you as its master. I don't know what the other tribes will think. Do it matter?" Zuyun didn't understand. This was a matter of the dragon clan and something left behind by the dragon clan. What does it have to do with other demon clans? Of course, Ma Yehuang sighed and said, "You don't know something. This dragon suppressing stone is originally a belonging of the dragon emperor. You have to think about why the dragon suppressing stone makes the dragon clan's ancestral land formation called the dragon clan. Why do we still need to trap dragons?" Zuyun was puzzled. The horse demon king smiled and said, "The eastern Sheng realm is vast, and the ancestral lands of the major demon clans also have many people. It is inevitable that there will be a group of people, or people with different intentions. This trap dragon formation is actually used by the Dragon King to deal with the rebellious dragons. Although the dragons in the Dongsheng realm are not true dragons, after cultivating to the demon saint realm, they may shed their impurities and become true dragons. Therefore, there will be some dragons with extraordinary talents who are unwilling to stay in the east. In the Shengjing realm, it violates the rules of the dragon clan to go to the heavenly world. And if the dragon clan is always proud and talented, they will naturally not want to stay in the eastern Shengjing realm and practice this demonic cultivation method. Zuyun understood what Ma Yehuang meant when he mentioned this. Dongshenjing has the rules of Dongshenjing. The dragon clan has dragon clan rules. This means that there will be juniors in the dragon clan who break the rules and are unwilling to be punished, so they will rebel. The dragons are inherently strong individually. If they go crazy, they are likely to harm innocent people, so they need to trap the dragon array. I see, the boy has learned a lesson. Zuyun nodded slightly, thinking that maybe the nightmare demon took advantage of the dragon clan's characteristics, which finally made them pay a huge price and go to Tianweishan. After learning the truth of the matter, Zuyun also felt the horror of the nightmare even more. He is not very strong, but the storm in Dongsheng realm was caused by him. The nightmare demon must be killed. If he really succeeds in practicing the 5 elements Chaos Sutra, I am afraid there will be no peace in the future. So, little guy, you stay here for a while, and wait for me to contact other demon kings before making a decision. If you go out rashly, I am afraid it will cause misunderstandings. The nightmare demon seems to have started to make trouble. When all the nightmare demons are dispatched, the consequences will be disastrous. In addition, the dragon suppression stone is in your hands. You can also represent the dragon clan. Perhaps the spiritual world passage in Dongsheng realm will bring about different changes. Zuyun was stunned. Can I represent the dragon clan? How is this possible? I don't have any dragon blood in my body, and I don't have any spiritual stone in the dragon clan. Originally, he wanted to ask the Ma Demon King why he was like this, but he looked extremely anxious, so he swallowed his words back into his stomach. Old Ma, what about you? Zuyun turned around and asked Old Ma. I'll go back to my ancestral land with my second uncle and then come back. After struggling for a while, Old Ma decided to go with Zuyun. Okay, I'll wait for you to come back. Zuyun nodded and said to Ma Yaohuang, Senior Yaohuang, if you have any news, you can let Old Ma inform me. I'm either at the dragon's tail or here. Don't worry, Ma Yaohuang also smiled, if there is any situation, I will let Xiao Rongzi inform you. Thank you. Zuyun bowed and watched Ma Yaohuang and a group of demon kings leave, but he muttered in his heart, Old Ma is called Xiao Rongzi? Could his name be Ma Rong? I'm entangled with what his name is. What does it do? The name is just a code name. Zuyun muttered and looked at the dragon stone on his forearm. Hey, you are so good, why do you recognize me as your master? He sat on the ground and asked the dragon stone. I feel the breath of a real dragon on you. The dragon stone didn't shy away at all, and it startled Zuyun as soon as it opened its mouth. As if sensing Zuyun's reaction, Xianxia explained, at first, you broke the dragon trap array with the whip that shocked the dragon's soul, so I became suspicious, but seeing that you were a human, I was afraid that you had ill intentions, so I did not take any action. Later, I saw that you broke the dragon trap array and let me escape from the control of the nightmare monster, so I was relieved. But at that time, you were in a hurry to leave, and I did not show up. So, I came back and was chased by the horse demon king again, and you showed up to protect me. That's about it, Xianxia said, the main thing is that you didn't take the whip this time, but I can still see from you I felt the breath of a real dragon on my body. This breath is stronger than that of the original demon king. So I know that you must have a connection with the dragon clan. If I want to leave the dragon clan's ancestral land, I can only recognize you as my master. Zuyun frowned and said, why do you want to leave the dragon clan's ancestral land? The dragon stone was silent for a while before saying, because I have a spirit. When the dragon king was here, I was just a piece of stone. But I was used to control the dragon trap formation, so the dragon king nurtured me with his essence and blood. Over time, I became intelligent. Not only that, I am also very close to 11 by. In other words, I am a stone demon dragon. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 773. When Dragon Genji said this, Zuyun suddenly realized. He remembered one of the words Ye Yang once left. Plants, trees, monsters, and beasts can all become immortals. Of course the dragon suppressing stone can do it. So, you recognize me as your master and you want me to take you out of here and go to cultivate immortality. Zuyun was not polite and asked directly. It can be said that, Xianxia said, because I am nourished by the essence and blood of the dragon clan, I would not worry if it were someone else. And you have the aura of a real dragon, which makes me feel close to you involuntarily. Zuyun was dumbfounded, he knew that this aura must come from Xiaohe. The dragon bloodline in the Arawana is true dragon bloodline. Moreover, after being baptized by the dragon transformation pond, he completely transformed into a real dragon. It seems that this dragon suppressing stone wants to go to the spirit world with me. Previously, the demon king Ma also mentioned the spiritual passage in the Dongsheng realm. As for the words of intimacy he said, Zuyun didn't believe that much. On the contrary, Ma Yehuang said that he could become the representative of the dragon clan's ancestral land, which gave him an idea. Since it is the ancestral land of the dragon clan, who knows what kind of harvest will be gained by calling Xiaohe out? Thinking of this, Zuyun concentrated his mind and directly summoned Xiaohe from the immortal mansion. After being injured by Zuyun using the Chaos Dragon control technique, Xiaohe also woke up in the dragon transformation pond, but his body was still a little weak, so he appeared in front of Zuyun. Master, Master. Xiaohe lowered his head slightly, not daring to look directly at Zuyun. There is no such arrogance as the dragon clan is born with. The dragon suppressing stone was even more surprised. Not only was Xiaohe surprised by the extremely pure true dragon aura, it was even richer than that of the dragon emperor. What's more, Xiaohe was summoned by Zuyun casually, so lowbrow and obedient that he was called his master. This little nascent soul still needs his own help to save himself from the siege in its early stage. Look, what's the place like here? Zuyun didn't care about the feelings of Zhenlong Stone. He had scared Xiaohe before, but now that he was like this, he was afraid of scaring him, so he said with a smile. This. Xiaohe raised his head and looked around, but stopped talking. If you have anything to say, just say it. Master, this place gives me a very mysterious feeling. It lacks spiritual power, but it can also give me an extremely close feeling. Zuyun smiled and said, this place is called the ancestral land of the dragon clan, so I called you out to take a look. Maybe you can find some opportunities here. In this way, you can do whatever you want in this ancestral land. Have a look. Although Hualong Pond was of great help to Xiaohe, Zuyun thought that if Xiaohe was allowed to stay in the immortal mansion, his vision would be restricted. I'm afraid it's due to lack of experience. The nightmare demon has already escaped. If he wants to come to the dragon clan's ancestral land for a while, and it will be of great help to Xiaohe, it is better to let him stay for a while. It won't be too late to take Xiaohe back after he has completely settled the matter. Since he broke through to the nascent soul stage, his connection with Diwu glazed mirror has become even closer. The biggest change is that the time flow rate difference has increased to 7:1. Master, aren't you afraid that I will run away? Hearing this, Xiaohe said with an inexplicable expression. After transforming into a dragon, his intelligence is no different from that of a human being, and he has his own thoughts. Run? Are you willing? Zuyun couldn't help but smile and said that he was sitting in the Hualong Pond, and he was afraid that the Dragon Emperor was here, so he might also want to take a dip in it. Seeing Zuyun smile, Xiaohe also laughed too. Although meeting Zuyun always brings unhappy scenes, at least he still knows that Zuyun has no ill intentions towards him. Otherwise, he has the dragon beating whip and the chaos dragon control technique that can restrain him, and he can completely kill him. Then master, should I walk around first? Xiaohe asked immediately. Go, I will stay here for some time. By the way, remember not to leave too far from the back of this dragon vein, and don't go beyond the position of the dragon's tail. If you accidentally enter the ancestral land of other demon clans, with your strength, I'm afraid it won't be enough for them to fight. Under Zuyun's instructions, Xiaohe got into the Dragon Vein Mountain, and it took a long time for the Zhenlong Stone to speak out. I didn't expect that a young true dragon would recognize you as its master. This is incredible. Zuyun smiled and said, the mortal world is so big, what's impossible? He is fully aware of this. He is a despised five-spirited person, but it is rumored that it is impossible for him to reach the 6th level of Qi refining. But now, he is in the early stage of nascent soul. Moreover, he can still stand on the boundary of Dongsheng realm. Even Zuyun had never thought about it before. After sighing in his heart, Zuyun asked, tell me, what is your purpose? Since you recognize me as your master, you and I should be honest with each other. Seeing Zuyun being so straightforward, Zhenlong Shi struggled for a long time before saying, I want to go to the spirit world. Zuyun Zui asked, I know you definitely want to go to the spiritual world, so tell me, where do you want to go to the spiritual world? What do you want to do? I want to go to the outer world to find the Dragon King. Speaking of this, Zhenlong Shi became a little excited and said, I want to ask the Dragon King face to face why he abandoned me here and suffered for thousands of years. Originally, using the dragon essence and blood to warm me after raising it for about 1,000 years, I can become a real stone demon dragon and become a real dragon, but he took a group of dragons to the spiritual world, leaving my cultivation stagnant here for thousands of years. Zuyun frowned, vaguely feeling that the dragon-suppressing stone seemed to be blaming the Dragon King. From what he said before, the Dragon Emperor probably didn't know that he could cultivate to the stone demon dragon, but only let him play the role of activating the dragon trapping array. Similar to the array plate. But all things have spirits, and when their intelligence reaches a certain level, they will naturally want to live forever. Then, they need to cultivate immortality. Whether it is the human race, birds, beasts, or spiritual creatures born and raised, it is the same. I can take you to the spirit world, this is because you helped me stop the horse demon emperor. But I can't guarantee that I can take you to the dragon emperor to confront him. Zuyun didn't agree casually, he wouldn't say it to death. No, you can. You have the real dragon, as long as you take him to the outside world to find the land of the dragon clan, the dragon emperor will definitely meet you. Zuyun shook his head and said, but I don't plan to find the dragon clan. In Zuyun's original plan, he would take Go and go to the spirit world together. After settling them down, he would go to the Five Elements sect to explore the secret of his own practice of the Five Elements Chaos Sutra. Cultivating immortals is not scary, what is scary is that you have taken the wrong path of cultivation. Although he now knows that the changes in his body are most likely caused by absorbing the chaotic power in the void of the immortal mansion, going to the Five Elements sect can at least help him find some experience from others and apply it to himself. Although the Five Elements sect is not welcomed by all races, it is related to his subsequent cultivation. No matter how dangerous it is, Zuyun has to go. If he goes to Tian for the private matter of the Dragon Stone, Weiming is a bit confused and loses sight of the big picture. What's more, he doesn't know much about the spiritual world now, and Tian is so big, where can he find the Dragon Clan? But after all, the Dragon Suppressing Stone now recognized him as the master, so Zuyun had to promise, if there is news about the Dragon Clan halfway through my plan, I can go and take a look. The Dragon Suppressing Stone was delighted and said quickly, that's fine. Anyway, I am still a stone body. I have waited for thousands of years, so I don't mind a little while. That's good. Zuyun was relieved when he heard this. One man and one stone, they chatted for a while. Zuyun also learned about the Dragon Clan's past from the Dragon Suppressing Stone. In addition, he also knew how the Nightmare Demon controlled him and turned the Dragon Clan's ancestral land into his territory. It turned out that the 12 major demon clans in Dongsheng realm have existed since ancient times and are said to carry the destiny. But what the destiny is, the Dragon Suppressing Stone does not know. What the Dragon Emperor said at the time was just a few words, and it was not said to the Dragon Suppressing Stone. This made Zuyun interested. In the Demon Refining Tower, the 12 major demon clans, except the Dragon Clan, each sent a demon king to suppress the evil thoughts of the demon saint. In addition, there are 12 statues as auxiliary. From this, it can be seen that whether the gathering of the 12 tribes has a special function. Zuyun asked Zhenlongxi, and Zhenlongxi said that he didn't know. But what is certain is that there must be some kind of connection between the 12 tribes. No matter how noisy these demon cultivators are, the relationship between the 12 demon kings is very good. From what Zhenlongxi has seen, he has never seen the Dragon King get angry with the other demon tribes. Zuyun thought to himself that Dongsheng realm lacks the dragon tribe, but doesn't he have Xianxia? If he can collect the demon kings of the other 11 tribes to the immortal mansion, maybe he can know the destiny. Thinking of this, Zuyun was also very excited. Now there are only Lao Jin and Lao Zhu left in the immortal mansion ranch. Lao Ma will definitely come back. Including Xianxia, There are only 8 demon kings missing. At that time, the demon refining tower had an accident at the junction of Yeazhu and Bingzhou. He could clearly see that several demon kings were heading west. If they were all taken into the immortal mansion. Zhu Yun's eyes lit up immediately. Zhen Longxi could not sense Zhu Yun's emotions, but kept talking. Zhu Yun was doing two things at once, listening to Zhen Longxi on one hand, and thinking about how to find the other demon kings on the other. It just so happened that Niao was fine and fast. Could he go back to Yejing to look for him? Just when he thought this was feasible, Zhen Longxi's dissatisfied voice suddenly sounded. "Master, are you listening to me?" Zhu Yun replied casually, "Listen, of course I am listening." "Then tell me, how many variations of the dragon trapping formation are there?" Zhen Longxi obviously heard Zhu Yun's absent-mindedness, otherwise he would not ask this question. And Zhu Yun was also stunned for a moment. Wasn't he just bragging just now? "You suppressed more than 10 gifted dragons in total, how come you are talking about the dragon trapping formation?" Without hearing Zhu Yun's response, Zhen Longxi said anxiously, "Bringing me with you is like bringing the dragon trapping formation with you. When you go to the spirit world in the future and encounter a strong enemy, you can use this dragon trapping stone to fight the enemy. Why didn't you listen carefully?" Zhu Yun was speechless. It seemed that Zhen Longxi was really fighting hard. But then again, after Zhen Longxi recognized him as the master, he only had the formation diagram and the magic formula of controlling the formation in his mind, and he really didn't introduce any changes. At that time, the situation was tense and he didn't have time to study the formation pattern. Hearing Zhen Longxi's preaching, Zhu Yun simply sank into his mind and looked at the formation pattern floating in the purple mansion. Looking carefully, the formation pattern was extremely complicated and kept changing in his eyes. But Zhu Yun, who already had attainments in the formation, had previously studied the solution of the formation in order to break the dragon trapping formation. After careful observation, he immediately found the clue. After a moment, he smiled slightly, retracted his mind and said calmly, 18 kinds of changes. You actually. Zhen Longxi was shocked. He couldn't believe it. Ordinary formations can have 3 or 5 changes, which is extremely extraordinary. For example, Tang Liwen's star movement formation actually didn't change at all. And the reason why it is so mysterious is actually because it has many eyes and can transform into stars. In terms of the number of changes, Sun Suanhua's 9 Yang 9 transformation formation is the pinnacle. However, the 81 changes that Sun Suanhua told him actually amounted to 81 combinations. There are only 9 real changes. Because 9 is the number of the sun. So Zhen Longxi thought to himself, even if Zhu Yun guessed too much, he would only be able to guess 9 kinds of things at most. However, Zhu Yun said 18 different things in such a sure and confident tone. How could he not be shocked? How did you know? Zhen Longxi murmured. Isn't this simple? Zhu Yun smiled slightly and said, don't you know how to count? It sounds simple, but you have to count the same formation pattern between the first and 19th times to tell the difference. Who are you? Dragon suppressing stone, a little panicked. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 774. Does it matter who I am? Zhu Yun was a little surprised that he had only seen through the 18 changes of the dragon trap formation, and yet he was so surprised. But it is true as he said, who he is not important to the dragon suppressing stone. You just need to know that since you recognize me as your master, you must serve me wholeheartedly. Naturally, I can also promise you that if I go to the spirit world and one day I can find the location of the dragon clan, it will be as you wish. Let you go and confront the dragon emperor. I. Zhen Longxi was silent for a while, and then he said, I understand, master. This time the owner was not as coy as before. He really knew that Zuyun had extraordinary abilities. Dragon Whip, Real Dragon, Beast Control, and Formations. If he knew that Zuyun had other abilities, Dragon Suppressing Stone would probably be even more shocked. What are you going to do now? Zuyun already had a general understanding of the situation in Dongsheng realm, so he asked. I have been controlled by the nightmare demon for many years. In fact, the soul power of my spirit body has been greatly damaged. I need some dragon power to recover. Master, can you? Before he finished speaking, he was interrupted by Zuyun. Do you want Xiao Hei's true dragon essence and blood? Don't dare. Dragon Suppressing Stone quickly said, I'm afraid I can't bear the true dragon blood. If possible, could the master give me some ambergris saliva? This is not easy, Zuyun suddenly laughed and said, can you turn back into a stone? Then I will throw you to Xiao Hei and let him spit at you. Really? That's great. The dragon suppressing stone was overjoyed and quickly got out from between Zuyun's forearms. It was a red stone with strange lines. Zuyun played with it in his palms, then threw it into his arms and said, I'll meet Xiao Hei later. Now you just stay here. Yes, master. At this time, Lao Ma followed the horse demon emperor and others back to the ancestral land of the Ma clan. Looking at the blood stains on the ground beside the totem pole, the horse demon emperor was furious. Demon emperor, third brother is fine. Fortunately, we arrived in time and saved third brother. However, third brother lost too much blood and we don't know how long he will be unconscious for. The three demon kings who rushed back earlier looked nervous and reported the situation to the horse demon king. Let me take a look. The horse demon king took a step forward and put his hand on Ma San's head. After a moment, he said angrily, there is a mysterious spiritual power in his body, and even I can't drive it out. Is it possible that this nightmare demon can't be driven out, mastered the human technique? At this time, Lao Ma also suddenly remembered, wasn't he also injured by the nightmare demon? It was Zuyun who saved him when he finally woke up. Looking at this situation, it seems that the same is true for Ma San. He quickly spoke and said, second uncle, my master can save you. All the demon kings frowned when they heard Lao Ma calling his master Zuyun so smoothly. If the old horse is just a horse demon in the ordinary realm, then it is nothing. But you are a member of the Thorn Horse Demon clan, a direct descendant of the Horse Demon clan, and you are in the realm of the Demon King. The Demon clan has always respected the strong. There is no shame in recognizing others as masters. But that human race. The Horse Demon King was angry and happy at the same time. He wanted to scold the old horse, but then he thought about it. Seeing the old horse like this, it would be very inappropriate if he said something bad about Zuyun, so he had to say, well, then, go and invite that little guy. Lao Ma thought for a moment and said, second uncle, I have not fully recovered from my serious injury, and I don't have much spiritual power in my body. I'm afraid I won't be able to get back in time. Otherwise, which clan uncle should I ask to take me there? The Horse Demon King nodded, turned to one of the horse demons, and said, Malu, take Xiaorongzi with you. The Demon King named Malu immediately stood up and led Lao Ma back the same way, heading towards the ancestral land of the Dragon Clan. Almost at the same moment, Xiao Hei also flew all the way to the dragon's tail. Be careful, there's a dragon ahead. Malu watched Xiao Hei fall from a distance, and was filled with fear. He quickly reminded Lao Ma, and at the same time he also fell down and found a hiding place. As the veteran Demon King of the Horse Clan and a close confidant of the Horse Demon King, Malu knew that the Dragon Clan could not still exist in the Dragon Clan's ancestral land. In fact, there are no longer dragons in the entire Dongsheng realm. So, where did this dragon come from? Lao Ma also had a puzzled look on his face. Xiao Hei was in the dragon transformation pond of the Immortal Mansion, and he was staying in the pasture. He had never met the dragon and the horse before, so naturally he didn't recognize them. Moreover, seeing Maliu's expression like this, I couldn't help but feel nervous. "Uncle Six, what should I do?" Maliu's face was solemn and he said, "Let's take a look first. Third brother is seriously injured and only your master can save him. At the moment, I don't know if the nightmare monster really went to the rabbit clan's ancestral land or stayed in our ancestral land to watch." "Uncle Six, what do you mean? If it doesn't work out, we still have to break through." Lao Ma was shocked. "That's right," Malu nodded, looked towards the direction where Xiao He fell, and whispered, "However, it seems that the black dragon is still a baby. Could it be that the Dragon King and his companions migrated back then and left them behind? A dragon egg? No wonder Malu thought like this. The dragon suppressing stone had previously escaped from trouble and revealed the fact that he was controlled by the nightmare demon. Perhaps the hatching of the dragon egg was related to the dragon suppressing stone. The two demons waited here for a while, and finally saw Xiao He rising up and flying again. However, Xiao He returned along the original path of the Dragon Vein Ridge. "Uncle Six, this." Lao Ma looked at Malu, because they were looking for Zuyun and had to follow this route back to the dragon's head. "No matter, if we wait any longer, I'm afraid something will happen to my third brother, so I can only follow him. If there really is a fight, I'll hold him back while you call your master." Malu made a decision immediately and told Lao Ma. "Then Uncle Six, you must be careful." Lao Ma also responded, and then the two demons flew up at the same time, and were instantly discovered by Xiao He. "Hold head high." Xiao He turned around, let out a dragon roar, and then said angrily, "This is the ancestral land of the dragon clan. No one can enter, otherwise this dragon will not be blamed, he will be killed without mercy." Xiao He was humiliated in the fairy mansion. Forced by Zuyun's suppression of his strength, his dragon clan's arrogance had nowhere to show off. After finally leaving the immortal mansion, he was able to navigate the Dragon Vein Mountain with ease and feel extremely comfortable, but he didn't expect to encounter two horse monsters. A dragon's power quickly pressed towards Lao Ma and the two. Malu was still nervous before, but when he felt that Long Wei was not much of a threat to him, he immediately relaxed. However, since the 12 demon clans have always been on good terms with each other, Malu would not take action rashly. Instead, he put Lao Ma aside and faced Xiao He alone. 100 steps away, Malu stood in the air, bowed in the distance, and said, "This demon friend from the dragon clan, we are passing by here and want to go to the ancestral land to find a friend from the human race." "Humph." Xiao He was not polite and said in a cold voice, "First, this dragon is a real dragon, not a demon. Second, you came to our dragon clan's ancestral land to find someone. Your lies are too clumsy. Third, you came to the ancestral land of our dragon clan to find someone. Get out of my way. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude." Xiao He flew all the way here and gained a little understanding of the ancestral land of the dragon clan. He even formed some connection with the Dragon Vein Mountain and realized that he could borrow the power of the Dragon Vein Mountain. Therefore, facing a demon king like Lao Ma, he was not afraid at all. When Malu saw this, his face could not help but turn cold, and he said to Lao Ma, "Xiao Rongzi, I'll hold him back while you go find your master." Lao Ma knew that this was the only way. He nodded, turned into his true body and ran along the valley under the Dragon Vein Ridge. When Xiao He saw this, he became furious. "I am a real dragon, and I have just issued a ban, but you still want to break in. Where is my face?" Immediately, Xiao He opened his mouth and spit out a stream of black real fire. "This is dragon flame. The power of the black dragon flame is restrained. From the appearance, there is nothing unusual at all. But when the black flame reaches it, the surrounding ancient trees are burned by the extreme heat and turn into dead trees. What a powerful dragon flame! Malu whispered attentively and took action quickly. A majestic demonic power followed his palm and struck the black dragon flame. Boom! A loud sound rang out, Dragon Vein Mountain shook, and the dead trees lost their vitality. Naturally they could not withstand this force, and they broke apart one after another and rolled all the way to the bottom of the valley. Suddenly the roar became even louder. You dare to take action? You're looking for death. Xiaohe was furious, and his black body hovered in the air. As he uttered some obscure words, Dragon Vein Mountain rumbled loudly, and his back came to life. This is the trapped dragon formation. It's not good. Malu was well informed and could not help but be shocked when he saw the dragon vein come to life. Although the trapped dragon formation is a ground-protecting formation for the dragon clan's ancestral land, it is mostly used to deal with the rebellious dragon clan. But that doesn't mean it's useless to other demon cultivators. On the contrary, because of the dragon bloodline, dragons in the same realm are stronger. Malu knew very well what kind of crisis there would be at the moment, so he quickly transformed into his true form and chased after Lao Ma. Xiaorongzi, retreat quickly, this black man is difficult to deal with. He shouted in shock, Lao Ma is the nephew of the horse demon king, nothing can happen to him. What's important is that Xiaorongzi's master is from a human clan. What if the human race gets angry with us? How can we save third brother? Malu spread his four hooves, and his hoofs seemed to be ejected with flames, and he chased the old horse at lightning speed. Humph, trap them first. Xiaohe said in a deep voice, and the dragon's tail quickly swung towards Lao Ma and the others. Although Maliu's body is huge, like a small mountain, his body shape is extremely flexible. Flashing around, the dragon vein was unable to do anything to him. He just watched Malu protect the old horse under him. Uncle Six, please leave me alone and leave first. Lao Ma is not afraid of danger. He has followed Zuyun for a long time and knows that the more critical the moment, the more calm he must be. I'm leaving, what will you do? Malu didn't even look back, his big eyes stared at the direction of the dragon's tail, and kept dodging. Uncle Six, I'm fine. There is such a big commotion here, it will definitely attract my master. Since this little black dragon can trigger the trapped dragon formation, maybe, it has something to do with my master. Hearing this, Malu suddenly woke up. Yes, he saw with his own eyes the conversation between the horse demon emperor and the dragon suppressing stone, and that the dragon suppressing stone recognized the human race as its master. In other words, is this little black dragon related to that human race? You're right, Malu said with a look in his eyes, please tell me your master's name quickly, lest the floods wash away the Dragon King Temple. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 775. Under the dragon head, Zuyun was sitting on the ground, his eyes closed, and he was drawing talismans in the air with his fingers as a pen. However, he did not use the power of chaos. Master, are you drawing talismans? Zhenlongxi could feel Zuyun's movements and asked curiously. Can you tell? Zuyun opened his eyes and said with a smile. The reason why he did not use the power of chaos to draw was that he could stop at any time and would not waste the power of chaos. It's an intuition, Zhenlongxi said. Excuse me, Master, talismans are not so easy to learn. Generally speaking, you need to learn talismans from the beginning of practice, otherwise. Before he finished speaking, Zuyun chuckled and drew a fireball talisman. The talisman took shape and turned into fire, blasting into the distance. Zhenlongxi shut up immediately. Otherwise what? Zuyun asked with a smile. Nothing, nothing. The dragon suppressing stone shut up sullenly, but within 2 breaths, he suddenly said in surprise, Master, someone activated the dragon trapping formation. As soon as the words fell, the dragon head above Zhu Yun's head suddenly flew off the ground and flew rapidly towards the distance. Zhu Yun was stunned, and immediately took out the dragon suppressing stone from his arms, stuffed it into his forearm, and said in surprise, "What's going on? Aren't you controlling the dragon trapping formation?" "Master, I don't know either. Someone should have found a way to control the dragon vessel mountain. Wait, I can feel that the dragon trapping formation seems to be trapping two monsters, and the person who controls this formation is not that strong." "What do you mean?" Hearing the words of the dragon suppressing stone, Zhu Yun's eyes turned cold, and he said in a deep voice, "Is it a nightmare monster?" "Not sure, it's too far away, I can't be sure." "Then go over and see who has such magical powers that can bypass you to control the dragon trapping formation." Zhu Yun said coldly, and the next moment, his figure appeared in the distance. However, no matter how fast he teleported, he couldn't catch up with the direction where the dragon head and the dragon body flew. But thinking that it might be the nightmare demon who went back and brought the rest of the nightmare demons back to kill, Zhu Yun didn't dare to neglect it. Through the narration of the dragon suppressing stone, Zhu Yun knew that the nightmare demon who controlled him was actually the nightmare demon king. Although the number of nightmare demons was small, there were more than 1,000 of them. If these gathered together, I'm afraid it would be a powerful force. Zhu Yun was anxious and had only one thought in his mind: to capture the thief, capture the king first. At the same time, although Xiao Hei's realm was much weaker than Malu, he borrowed the dragon trapping formation and fought evenly. Old Ma didn't have the opportunity to speak at all. He hugged Malu's thigh and grabbed his leg hair tightly. "I can't believe that I, the dignified demon king, ended up like this. When my master comes, he must peel your skin." Old Ma thought secretly in his heart. As time went by, the dragon head was getting closer and closer to this place, and Xiao Hei was able to control more and more power, and he gradually gained the upper hand. He, a mere demon horse dares to fight with my real dragon, you really don't know how to live or die." Xiao Hei was excited, and finally showed off his dragon power. However, he said that he would kill without mercy, but he actually had no intention of killing. He was also afraid of killing by mistake. Being blamed by Zhu Yun was a small matter, but he was very afraid that Zhu Yun would squeeze him and spit, or use the Chaos Dragon control art. "What you fear will come." When the dragon's tail was trapping Malu layer by layer, Zhu Yun's furious voice suddenly came. "Xiao Hei, stop." Xiao Hei hurriedly looked back and saw Zhu Yun running over, with red light flashing between his forearms, and the huge dragon vein stopped at some point. "Master!" Xiao Hei and Lao Ma almost said in unison. "Old Ma! And, this senior of the horse tribe, why are you fighting?" Zhu Yun frowned when he saw the huge body of Malu. Didn't Old Ma follow the horse demon king and the demon kings back to the ancestral land of the horse tribe? Why did he fight with Xiao Hei again? Compared to Old Ma's surprise, Malu was frightened. This real dragon actually called Zhu Yun his master. This human race. "I am Malu." Malu took a deep breath, turned into a human form, and said to Zhu Yun in a deep voice, "Ma-san was seriously injured. Xiao Rongzi said that only you can save him, so the Demon King sent us here. Please go and take a look." Zhu Yun glared at Xiao Hei, who shrank his head and returned to Zhu Yun. Zhu Yun then bowed to Malu and said, "Then please lead the way, Senior Malu." Ma-san was injured by the nightmare demon, and it was old Ma who asked to lead the way. Zhu Yun knew in his heart that Ma-san's injury should also need his own chaos power to expel. "Thank you." Malu was very polite, his eyes flickered, but no one saw it. Zhu Yun took Xiao Hei away. Since it was not the work of the nightmare demon, he did not think much about it. Under the effect of the dragon suppressing stone, the dragon vein once again coiled on the ridge, as if nothing had happened. Except for the mess of broken stones and broken wood here. Old Ma sat on Malu's back, and Zuyun followed behind him. More than an hour later, they arrived at the ancestral land of the horse tribe. In front of the totem pole, the horse demon king keenly noticed that Malu was hesitant to speak, so he politely said to Zuyun, "Xiaorongzi said you can save him. If you can really save Ma San, you will be a friend of my horse demon clan. We will not stay here to disturb you." After that, he took a group of horse demons out of the house. Before leaving, he asked old Ma to stay, saying that he was helping Zuyun. Outside the house, not far away, "You said," a dragon recognized him as the master. The Ma Demon Emperor looked at Malu with shock on his face. "Demon Emperor, I fought with that dragon, how can I be wrong? Although the dragon is still young, he can control the trap dragon formation, and I heard with my own ears that Xiaorongzi and the dragon called the boy in unison. For the master." Malu smiled bitterly and briefly described what happened at that time. Xiaorongzi and the dragon didn't know each other, so there was a misunderstanding. It can be seen that this dragon may have been found in the dragon clan's ancestral land. This human boy is not simple. The horse demon king pondered for a moment and came to such a conclusion. So, could this dragon be the heir left by the dragon emperor? You know, our 12 major demon clans bear the sky. Before Malu finished speaking, the demon king sternly stopped him. "Shut up. Don't talk about destiny anymore." Malu quickly lowered his head and admitted his mistake. "I was the one who was abrupt." However, after so many years, another person suddenly appeared. "I know." Ma Yehuang looked into the distance with a profound gaze and said, "I can't say. Hu Chong discovered something and sent him here on purpose." "This is impossible," Malu said. "Hu Kongdu has never discovered the dragon clan, how can he know this secret? But other than that, I can't figure out why this kid came to the dragon clan's ancestral land as soon as he arrived. He said he was looking for things left behind by Hu Chong, maybe Hu Chong has already laid his plan." The horse demon king secretly guessed, which made all the horse demon kings around him tremble with fear. If that's the case, that human race is more terrifying than the nightmare demon. Not only the veteran demon king of their horse clan knows that the 12 major demon clans carry the destiny, but also the demon kings of other clans know it. However, destiny is too mysterious and no one understands it, and therefore, no one will mention it. Leaking secrets is not good for anyone. No one dares to take such a risk. But since the dragon clan was designed by the nightmare demon and left the Dongsheng realm, they seem to have forgotten about the destiny. But now, Zuyun suddenly appeared with a dragon, making the Ma Yao clan become nervous again. "Destiny, what exactly is it? Demon Emperor, do you want to contact other tribes?" another demon king said from the side. "No," the horse demon king shook his head and said, "let's take a look at this kid first. If he can wholeheartedly save Ma San, it won't be too late to discuss this matter. In addition, the nightmare demon is missing, since he can. If you infiltrate the ancestral land of our horse clan, you may go to other demon clans' ancestral lands. It's not necessarily the rabbit clan, you can't say, you might also go to the ox clan and the sheep clan. Indeed, so many of us can't discover the identity of the nightmare demon after it transforms into a human being, let alone other tribes. Maybe the dog clan can find out, but as far as I can see, the nightmare demon dare not go there for the time being. That boy from the human race is not. Did you tell me that the nightmare demon is not very powerful and can't even defeat him?" After a discussion among the horse demons, they decided to suppress the matter for the time being. It would not be too late to wait until they see Zuyun's character clearly. The ancestral land of the dragon clan, reappears the dragon clan. I don't know if this is Dongsheng realm's luck or a disaster. At this time, in front of the totem pole, Zuyun is treating Ma San. He first used the green light in the wooden spirit bead to stabilize Ma San's life. After his physical condition stabilized, he allowed the power of chaos to enter Ma San's body. As he expected, Ma San's injuries were exactly the same as Lao Ma's. But in comparison, he was more seriously injured than Lao Ma. They were all sneak attacked, but when the Nightmare Demon King sneak attacked Lao Ma, the level of chaos power was not too strong. As for the sneak attack on Ma San, he had already refined the earth spirit liquid under the Dragon Clan's ancestral land, thus making the power of chaos stronger. But relatively speaking, Ma San's level is also higher. However, although the injuries he suffered were serious, he still saved his life. Moreover, under the totem pole, Ma San has benefited more or less. As time passed, Zhu Yundu entered more and more chaotic power. The chaotic power in his body was circling, but he did not notice that the more Zhu Yun used the chaotic power, the petals slowly opened. After the changes occurred in the Five Elements Chaos Sutra, Zhu Yun didn't know what would happen next. He hasn't even read the scriptures about the training methods for the nascent soul stage. I don't even know what skills I can learn in the nascent soul stage. Because he knew that his cultivation had deviated from the original intention of the Five Elements of Chaos Sutra. It took several hours, but Zhu Yun finally managed to remove all the chaos power from Ma San's body. When he slowly opened his eyes, he was already sweating profusely. "Master, are you okay?" Lao Ma asked in surprise. It was obvious that he looked exhausted and he quickly shut up. Zhu Yun nodded slowly and said, "Well, it's almost done. You'll wake up in a while." After saying that, he stood up. Lao Ma quickly stepped forward to help him, but he never thought that before he reached the door, a dull and emotionless voice suddenly came from a distance. "Is King Ma here? Lao Niu is visiting. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills." Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 776. Cao Clan. Zhu Yun frowned. From his previous conversation with the Horse Demon King, he learned that the Nightmare Demon had most likely gone to other Demon Clan ancestral lands to provoke others. Now, the Bull Demon Emperor has come to meet the Horse Demon Emperor in person. It is not difficult to suspect that the Nightmare Demon has actually gone to the Ox Clan. "Master, how about we go out and take a look?" Lao Ma was worried that the two sides would fight. Since the Bull Demon Emperor was here, he must have come prepared. If there was a fight, Zhu Yun could also help his second uncle. Zhu Yun didn't think much about it. For him, the more demon kings he saw from different races, the more he could reveal the face of the Nightmare Demon. But just as he nodded in response, Ma San suddenly woke up and shouted in a low voice, "Boy, no." Zhu Yun and Lao Ma quickly stopped and turned their heads, their faces full of surprise and confusion. Ma San transformed into a human form, which would consume less of his demon power and make it easier for him to activate. He said, "The Bull Demon Emperor has a very bad temper, so we should wait and see first." Zhu Yun suddenly realized that if the Bull Demon Emperor's coming here was really the work of the Nightmare Demon, then the Bull Demon Emperor was obviously bewitched. Based on his understanding of the Nightmare Demon, he figured that he would be the first to bear the brunt of it as soon as he went out. So, he nodded with a cold face. Although the Nightmare Demon's methods were ordinary, they had extraordinary effects, so he had to avoid the edge for the time being. Seeing this, Ma San smiled happily, pointed at the totem pole and said, "Boy, you hide behind the pillar for now, while I go to meet Xiaorongzi for a while. Remember, if Xiaorongzi doesn't call you, you must not come out." After giving the instructions, Ma San left the house with the help of Lao Ma. I saw a burly man wearing a horn hat, shirtless, showing off his strong muscles, standing in front of the Horse Demon King. On his waist, there were two large axes hanging, and it was unknown what material they were made of. The Niu Emperor personally came to visit, but I didn't go far to welcome you. Please forgive me. The horse demon emperor was polite in his words, but his attitude was a bit repulsive. Thinking about it, he could see that the bull demon emperor was coming with bad intentions. Mr. Ma, Lao Niu, I have nothing to do. I just heard that you have a human race here, so I wanted to come over and see you. The bull demon king's eyes widened, and after he finished speaking, he put his hands on a pair of large axes on his waist. Ox King, the horse demon king said with a cold expression, I have a human race here. As soon as these words came out, the atmosphere at the scene suddenly changed. The sound came into the house, and even Zuyun, who was hiding behind the totem pole, was surprised. Although his relationship with the Ma Demon King is neither cold nor cold, he mainly relies on Lao Ma to maintain his relationship. But that's not to say, the Demon King Ma didn't hide it at all, right? Not to mention, you rescued Ma San and walked out of the house. You can't see it, right? Since the human race is here, let him come out and meet Lao Niu. Lao Niu has a few words to ask him. The Bull Demon King raised his voice, and his voice was slightly unexpected. Unexpectedly, the Horse Demon King refused to give in, but said, he has left. If my guess is correct, he may have gone to the ancestral land of your Niu clan. Impossible, the Bull Demon King roared, if we were in the ancestral land of my Niu clan, how could I, old Niu, come to you to ask for someone? The Bull Demon King stared at the Horse Demon King with wide eyes. Old Niu, the Horse Demon Emperor said coldly, are you really stupid, or are you pretending to be stupid? The Bull Demon Emperor suddenly pulled out a weapon and lowered his head, hitting it with a clang in front of the Horse Demon Emperor's feet, but the Horse Demon Emperor did not move at all, and even said disdainfully, Old Niu, that's all you can do to bluff people, no wonder for so long, the Nightmare Demon has not even bothered to lie to you, the Niu clan. What did you say? Nightmare. Upon hearing those two words, the Bull Demon Emperor's expression suddenly changed. Humph, the Horse Demon King said calmly, you came to me to ask for human race, and you probably believed in other people's slander. I don't want to talk nonsense with you, and the one who came to deceive you is the Nightmare Monster. And that Nightmare Monster, Ma San, was injured earlier. After saying that, the Horse Demon Emperor pointed to the door. The Bull Demon King looked over and saw Ma San being supported by the old horse. I've seen the Cow King. Ma San knew the rules and saluted with force. Ma San, were you injured by the Nightmare Demon? The Nightmare Demon is not very powerful, and your strength is considered to be the peak of the Horse clan. How could you be injured by the Nightmare Demon? Ma San also knew what the Ma Demon King meant at this time, glanced at him, and then said helplessly, the Nightmare Demon has practiced human skills, and after turning into a human form, it will not show a trace of demon aura, so we will be fooled. He also used some words to confuse us, and then he attacked me unprepared. His gray-white spiritual power is very mysterious. It doesn't seem to be very powerful, but it can go straight into my demon body and cause havoc. Yes, if I hadn't been lucky, I might not be able to stand here and speak at this moment. Gray-white spiritual power. The Bull Demon King glared again, turned his head and looked at each other in disbelief with the tribesmen who had turned into human forms. Apparently, he had also seen this kind of spiritual power. One of them, Fu Er, stepped forward and whispered beside the Bull Demon King, Demon King, the human monk said that the horse tribe must have something to deal with. We don't want to be led away, as long as we can see the human race, we can be sure the truth is revealed. The Bull Demon Emperor's eyes flashed with ejaculation, and he turned around and roared, don't try to join forces to deceive me, old Niu, I can make my own judgment. All you have to do is tell old Niu that there are no human beings here. If there are, let them when the human race comes out, Lao Niu has a few questions to ask him. If not, Lao Niu, I'll turn around and leave. Seeing the aggressive Bull Demon Emperor, the horse demon emperor was speechless. He didn't know what the nightmare demon said to make the bull demon emperor act like this. Just when he was debating whether to let Zuyun come out to confront him, he didn't expect that Zuyun walked out on his own. Bull demon emperor? Boy Zuyun, please pay your respects first. Zuyun's sudden appearance shocked all the demon kings of the horse clan. The reason why the horse demon king is messing around here is actually because he is afraid that the ox demon king will hurt Zuyun. The ancestral lands of the two tribes border each other and they are family friends. How could the horse demon cultivator not know the temperament of the bull demon king? Sure enough, before Zuyun could stand up, the bull demon king raised the axe in front of him and struck Zuyun. When the axe was raised, it actually carried the power of creating the world. Before the axe blade came, Zuyundu almost felt that his body was about to be split in half. Old Niu, what are you doing? The Ma Demon King was furious. When Ma San appeared, he knew that Zuyun had rescued Ma San. Then, he owed Zuyun a favor. If something happens to Zuyun here, how can he, the Demon Emperor, have the dignity to be the king of this clan? Immediately, he roared in a deep voice and turned into his own body to stand in front of Zuyun. Who would have known that the Bull Demon Emperor's axe was just a false move, and the real killing move was behind him? He stretched out his hand, and another axe flew straight out from his waist, bypassed the huge body of the Horse Demon King, and hit him straight. However, this axe failed. The ground shook, and a deep pit suddenly appeared in front of the house, and Zuyun was nowhere to be found. Where are the people? Although the Bull Demon Emperor's sight was blocked, he still knew whether the axe hit him or not. Moreover, wherever the demon consciousness went, there was no sign of Zuyun at all. Bull Demon Emperor, I'm so polite to say hello to you, but why don't you even give me a chance to explain? At this time, Zuyun's cold voice came from above. 500 steps away, he looked grim. Originally, when I used the thunder escape technique, my only option was to run away in this situation. But now, he is in the nascent soul stage. The teleportation distance is also far beyond the ordinary nascent soul stage. What a good boy, how can you run so far? However, Lao Niu doesn't like to look up at people, so get down here. The Bull Demon Emperor stretched out his hand and pointed towards Zuyun, and the axe that had made a deep hole suddenly shot into the sky. Call. There was a gust of wind, and the big axe whizzed by, and in an instant it was in front of Zuyun. The speed is so fast, it seems that even the air will be split in half. At this moment, all the demon kings were extremely frightened, almost thinking that Zuyun would definitely die. However, unexpectedly, a black sword suddenly appeared in Zuyun's hand, and he rushed towards it. Clang! Chaos Sword! You are so arrogant, how dare you use this broken sword to meet my axe? Even though my axe has never killed anyone, old Niu, it is not something that you, a young nascent soul stage, can use. The Bull Demon King laughed wildly, but in the middle of his words, he swallowed it back. I saw that the axe was not only met by Zuyun's sword, but also unable to make any further progress. Niu Demon Emperor, I am a junior, so I should be polite to you. But you are indiscriminate, so I, Zuyun, don't need to be polite to you. Zuyun said coldly, holding the Chaos Sword, standing proudly in the air. The Bull Demon King was so powerful that he could not stop him at all. However, he possesses the Wuji sword technique, which can break through any weakness. When the flying axe arrived, he used the Chaos Sword to hit the weakest point of the flying axe. In addition, the Chaos Sword was extremely hard. No matter how strong the big axe was, how could it compare with it? Moreover, the Bull Demon King was far away from him, and he had no intention of fighting with Zuyun, so Zuyun could rest assured and use Xiao Jin. But underneath, all the Demon Kings didn't know why, and they were all shocked by this scene. Jaw-dropping. The Bull Demon King is full of brute strength and infinite power. Even the horse demon king did not dare to catch this flying axe casually, but Zuyun, a small human, caught it. How is this possible? For a moment, there was an eerie silence on the ground. In other words, everyone was shocked by Zuyun. The bull demon emperor still stared at Zuyun with his big eyes wide open. Even if the flying axe was exhausted and fell, his eyes never moved away. Clang! The flying axe fell to the ground and created another deep pit. The demon cultivators were shocked back to their senses by the sound. "Boy, who are you?" the bull demon king shouted in a deep voice. Zuyun raised his eyebrows and said calmly, "Who am I? I am exactly the person you are looking for. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills." Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 777. Zuyun's words were not intended to arouse the anger of the bull demon emperor. In fact, when he was still hiding in the house and heard the conversation between the two demon kings, the cow and the horse, he had already roughly guessed the purpose of the nightmare demon. Just as he expected, he wanted to kill someone with a borrowed knife. If you can't kill it, you can still find a chance for the nightmare demon. I learned from the dragon suppressing stone that there are more than 1,000 nightmare demons in total. If each of them can be as strong as the nightmare demon emperor, they may be a powerful force when gathered together. The most important thing is that if all the nightmare monsters start to practice the 5 elements Chaos Sutra, then the East Victory Realm. Unthinkable. Even the human race will suffer from this. Zuyun didn't expect that at that time. He just wanted to fool people and modified the 5 elements of Chaos Sutra, but he didn't expect that it would lead to such a result. You have to solve the evil you have caused yourself. Zuyun sighed secretly in his heart. Seeing that the bull demon king had no intention of taking action, he just dropped down and said with a chuckle, "Bull king, please tell me, you are looking for me and want to say a few words to me." He was rude to Zuyun, and now that Zuyun has the upper hand, he will naturally not give him any more face. "You are the demon king, but you are still in the realm of the demon king. As for me, in the nascent soul stage, I am at the same level as you. Even demon Saint Aniao is polite to me. To put it harshly, who do you think you are?" For a moment, Zuyun felt proud in his heart. This emperor. The bull demon emperor was not an eloquent person to begin with. When asked by Zuyun, he immediately choked on his words. However, he had no intention of talking to Zuyun and could not answer at all. "Humph," Zuyun sneered, thrust the chaos sword into the ground in front of him, put his hands behind his back, and said, "Tell me, what did that guy tell you to make you arrive at the horse clan thousands of miles away? Are you coming to kill me?" After saying that, Zuyun still glanced at the horse clan and other demon kings, and saw strange expressions on their faces. Also, the Niu tribe, which is famous for its stubborn temper, was speechless in front of this boy Zuyun. "Boy," the bull demon king stared at Zuyun and said, "everyone in the human race is insidious and cunning, how can I trust you?" Zuyun laughed and said, "Then how do you believe him?" This him, of course, refers to the nightmare demon emperor. The bull demon king's eyes flashed, as if he was debating whether to say it or not. Unexpectedly, Zuyun didn't care at all, and said with a sarcastic smile, "I don't need you to believe it, just like that. How about you take me to find him?" "Are you looking for him?" The bull demon emperor's eyes suddenly lit up. "This is good. No matter who is real or fake, wouldn't it be nice to let them face each other?" Although the axe was blocked by Zuyun, the bull demon king thought that he was not stupid. At least when Zuyun took out the sword, he felt the power of chaos on it. From his point of view, this person is more like a disciple of the same family as the one who stayed in the clan. "Okay, then I'll take you there." The bull demon king immediately agreed, and even added, "Don't go back on your word." "Don't worry, I won't regret it," Zuyun said, looking at the horse demon emperor, and said, "Senior Demon Emperor, I will go to the Niu clan. I hope I can avoid future troubles forever." The Horse Demon Emperor frowned and said, "Zuyun, I'm afraid." "Are you afraid it's the nightmare plot?" Zuyun naturally knew what Ma Yehuang was thinking, and he said it directly. "Exactly. It doesn't matter." Zuyun put away the chaos sword and said, "The nightmare demon was injured by me before, and it seems that he has not fully recovered, so he made these tricks. And I want to take advantage of his illness to kill him. If the Nightmare Demon clan is allowed to gather together, it will be even more troublesome." The tribe of nightmare monsters. The Horse Demon King was shocked and said quickly, "Do you know where the Nightmare Demon clan is?" Zuyun shook his head and said, "I don't know, so it is even more important to catch the Nightmare Demon King. Capture the thief first. Capture the king first. If we let them gather together and learn the same skills as me, then, they will all be transformed. If he takes the form of a human and blends into the human race, I'm afraid the world will be in chaos." The Horse Demon King took a deep breath, and then said in a deep voice, "The Nightmare Demon hides its head and tail in the East Victory, but it can make the East Victory miserable. If it comes to the human race, I'm afraid this will really happen. Zuyun, I am a member of the Horse Clan. One of the 12 great demon clans cannot sit back and ignore this. I will let a few people go with you. Horse 4, Horse 5, Horse 7. The Horse Demon King gave an order, and several horse demons immediately stood up and said in unison, "Here we are. You guys will go with Zuyun to the ancestral land of the Niu clan." After saying this, the Horse Demon Emperor deliberately glanced at the Niu Demon Emperor and said, "Old Niu, will you give me this little face from the Emperor?" The Bull Demon King said calmly, "As long as you don't cause trouble in the ancestral land of my cow clan, how can I stop you?" "Humph," the Horse Demon King snorted coldly and said, "Don't speak too soon. Zuyun is a close friend of our horse clan. If you hurt him in the slightest, our horse clan will be at odds with you." Suddenly, the atmosphere became tense again. The Horse Demon Emperor would not let the Bull Demon Emperor get out of the way at all. Seeing that the Bull Demon Emperor was about to ignore him and fight, Zuyun quickly came out to smooth things over. "Demon Emperor, no help is needed. The Nightmare Demon is unpredictable. Who knows whether he will return to the Ma clan's ancestral land? So, just leave some manpower and Marong and I can go." When he heard his name, Lao Ma said nothing, let go of Ma San's hand and stood up. "Marong? This name seems a bit familiar." The Bull Demon King was already angry, but after hearing this name, he muttered in his heart. But for a moment, he couldn't remember it. He knew all 34 demon kings of the Horse Demon clan, so it was obvious that old Ma stood next to Zuyun. Although his breath was a little weak, he was also a demon king, and his face was a little unfamiliar, which made him confused. "Okay, Bull King, you can set off." Zuyun didn't give him a chance to think at all. He turned around and said to the Bull King indifferently, "Then let's go." The Bull Demon King didn't want to stay here. Since he appeared here, the Horse Demon King had been against him. If he wasn't afraid of his strength and was on someone else's territory, he might have fought with the Horse Demon King with his temper. But finally this farce ended. The Bull Demon King felt that after returning to his ancestral land, he could stay out of it and just watch the show like the Horse Demon King at this time. "Then please come this way, fellow Daoist Zu." Thinking of this, the Bull Demon King seemed to be in a much better mood and became more polite. Zuyun sneered in his heart. It is easy to change the country, but it is difficult to change one's nature. If the Bull Demon King cursed, he would think it was normal. But he suddenly became so easy to talk to. Zuyun absolutely did not believe that he had no intention. "Old Ma, let's go." Zuyun called out and jumped up, and old Ma followed closely. In order to take care of old Ma who had just recovered, Zuyun also slowed down, and the man and the demon walked side by side. The rest of the demon clan surrounded them in the middle intentionally or unintentionally. Zuyun didn't take it seriously, but whispered to Lao Ma, "When we get to the ancestral land of the cattle tribe, I will take you to the ranch first." Lao Ma was stunned and immediately said, "Master, if so, it's not appropriate for you to be alone in the cattle tribe." Zuyun chuckled and said, "No, your strength has not fully recovered. Let Lao Jin and Lao Zu know first. If we really want to fight, I may ask them for help." Lao Ma understood and approached Zuyun, listening to Zuyun's voice transmission to him, so that he could tell the other two demon kings later. At the same time, there was also a bull demon king flying closely beside the bull demon king. "Demon king, I remember who Marong is." A demon king whispered, and he turned into a human. His face was full of wrinkles, and he looked really old. "Tell me quickly, I feel that this name has always been familiar to me, but I just can't remember it." The bull demon king flashed a touch of excitement. "Monster King, do you still remember the demon refining tower?" "Demon refining tower? Why are you talking about something so long ago?" The bull demon king frowned. He didn't think Marong had anything to do with the demon refining tower. Back then, the dragon clan was framed by the nightmare demon and started fighting among themselves, resulting in heavy casualties. The Dragon King was furious and led his people to forcefully rush through the spiritual world passage. Later, a master came from the spiritual world and said that he wanted to refine the demon refining tower to imprison the evil thoughts of a demon saint. He needed the help of the 12 tribes that carry the destiny. Didn't our bull clan also send someone? I asked you about Marong, and what did you say the people of the bull clan did?" The bull demon king hadn't reacted yet. The demon king said hurriedly, "Demon king, do you remember that your brother was gifted but had a bad temper, so he was sent to the demon refining tower by the previous demon king?" It seems that this happened. The bull demon king thought for a while. The incident happened a long time ago, but he remembered something, so he continued, "Then what?" "At that time, our cattle and horse tribes said that we could go there. We had already contacted each other, but the horse tribe said that they had to go with the pig tribe, so." "Speak to the point." The bull demon king was a little impatient and urged, "Don't beat around the bush, tell me who Marong is." "Marong is the tribe member sent to the demon refining tower by the horse tribe." The bull demon king shuddered all over. He originally wanted to make things clearer so that the demon king would look at him differently, but he ended up getting into trouble. How could he dare to keep it a secret? But obviously, the bull demon king did not hear the key point from the words, but frowned and asked, "If Marong can come back, then doesn't it mean that my brother can also come back? This is not easy to deal with. He must have nothing to do in the demon refining tower. If he concentrates on practicing, his ability will definitely be better than mine. If he comes back and takes my position as the demon king, what should I do?" The bull demon was speechless for a while, but more of it was helpless. The current demon king is good, but he is just stupid, and the key is that his temper is still stubborn. But fortunately, if not, the other demons would not think that the bull clan would threaten them. Sighing in his heart, the demon king changed the subject and said, "Demon king, the most important thing now is the battle between the real and fake human race. If your brother can really come back, how can all of us subordinates obey his orders?" The bull demon king suddenly realized and couldn't help laughing, "Yes, you are right. Let's wait and see them fight, and then make a decision. Even if my brother comes back, he can't make any waves? Don't be afraid." While flying, the bull demon king swung his fists and smashed his chest, which attracted Zuyun's sidelong glance. He thought to himself, this bull demon king went crazy for no reason. Could he have mad cow disease? Secretly curling his lips, Zuyun also took the old horse into the fairy palace. At this time, a sound passed through the air, melodious and long. "Moo. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 778. Whose cow is so ignorant of the rules and barks randomly? The bull demon king turned his head and glared at the demon kings under his command. The demon king, that seems to be the sound made by the demon king too. The old cow who was following the bull demon king said tremblingly. Don't I know he is the demon king? That's why I ask you. As soon as he finished speaking, he was shocked. No, all the demon kings were brought out by him. Why are there still demon kings in the ancestral land? But then, he was ecstatic. Ha ha ha, is it true that someone from our ox clan has broken through to the realm of the demon king? Hurry up and have a look, there will be a big reward, there will be a big reward. Without waiting for any of his subordinates to respond, the bull demon king quickly rushed in the direction of the sound, but what greeted him was a burst of majestic demon power. Moo! There was another loud roar, and the bull demon king was immediately restrained and fell heavily towards the ground. But fortunately, although his mind was not working well, his body's reaction was not bad. Just when he was about to hit the ground face first, he forcibly turned around and stood firmly on the ground. You just broke through the demon king realm and you want to challenge my demon king status. The bull demon king's face also became solemn, and the bull demon kings behind him also followed closely, with even more solemn expressions. Except for the bull demon king, I am afraid that the other demon kings have guessed who is coming. Niu Hung, long time no see. A figure walked out from behind a boulder and came straight to the bull demon king. Who are you? How do you know my name? The new demon emperor, also known as Niu Hung, said with a puzzled look on his face. Since taking the position of demon king, he has never heard anyone call his name again. When he heard someone calling out his name, he was confused for a moment. Niu Gang, although he is your brother, you have to call him demon emperor. At least, you have to call him emperor brother. At this time, the old demon king stepped forward and stood between the two of them. Niu Gang? Brother Huang. Niu Hung murmured, looked at Niu Gang, took a step back suddenly, and said in shock, you escaped from the demon refining tower. Escape? Niu Gang snorted coldly and said, do I need to escape? I came out of the demon refining tower with integrity. Back then, I should have been the demon king, and you had to go to the demon refining tower to guard the evil thoughts of the demon saint. It was you people who deceived the previous demon emperor with your slanderous lies, and made you, a fool, become the demon emperor. The more Niu Gang talked, the more excited he became. He stretched out his hand and patted Niu Hung. Niu Hung's mind was not quick, but his reaction was not slow. He had also deliberately distanced himself before, and with the old demon king sandwiched between him, Niu Gang's move could not hit him at all. Niu Gang, no matter what, I am the demon emperor now. You want to take away my position as the demon emperor, you are delusional. Having said that, Niu Hung was enthusiastic and rushed forward to greet him. In an instant, the two brothers fought together. And all the demon kings were stunned. They were not surprised because they were competing for the throne, but Niu Gang was actually able to fight Niu Xiang on a par. In mid-air, Zuyun squinted his eyes and looked at the scene with deep thoughts in his heart. With the dragon suppressing stone, will the demon clan also take over the throne? Zhenlongshi said, Master, it may be possible for the other demon clans, but the 12 major demon clans, generally speaking, the successor is designated by the previous demon emperor. Of course, the premise is that the next demon emperor must be able to practice to the realm of the demon king. Zuyun nodded slightly, this must be necessary. Since Niu Gang was selected into the demon refining tower, there is no need to say more about his talent. At this time, it is understandable that he came to ask for help. But he always feels like something is wrong. In the demon refining tower at that time, the 11 demon kings fled in all directions, just to escape and be trapped in the demon refining tower again. This shows that guarding the evil thoughts of the demon saint is not their original intention. Apart from anything else, just being trapped in it forever will make it impossible to progress further in cultivation. Zuyun can understand this kind of resentment. But after leaving the demon refining tower, they regained their freedom and could continue to practice. Why did Niu Gang return to Dongsheng realm and the ancestral land of the Niu clan? It stands to reason that due to the barrier between the two realms, it is impossible for him, a Demon King realm person, to come back directly, so he must have come through the wild sea like himself. But why is it happening at this time? Obviously, Niu Gang came back not long ago. Because of this, Zuyun connected him with the nightmare demon. But for now, he decided to take a look before talking. Perhaps the scene is what the nightmare demon wants to see. The two brothers fought each other, and the other bull demon kings did not dare to intervene. I don't know if it's because of the Ox clan's rules or because I'm afraid of being affected. Soon, they transformed into their true bodies and began to clash with their horns. Such arrogant fighting methods made Zuyun's blood boil. Taking a closer look, the other demon kings also had scarlet eyes, obviously affected. With each collision, the ground would shake, dust would fly, and gravel would fly. It seems that he is determined to fight to the death. Zhenlongshi suddenly opened his mouth and sighed. Zuyun came back to his senses and asked, "You said, if a demon king dies, what good will it do to the Niu clan?" "Master, you don't know that although the demon tribe has many rules, they still believe that the strong are supreme. As for why Niu Gang, who has better talent, was allowed to go to the demon refining tower, it is unknown. Let alone Niu Gang, I would not accept it if it were me." So. Zuyun pondered for a moment and said, "Niu Gang got angry and wanted to come back no matter what. Maybe he didn't fight for the throne, but to vent his anger." "It's possible," Zhenlongshi said, "the biggest characteristic of the Niu tribe is that they are stubborn and stubborn. Once they make up their minds, they will never change. Maybe it's true. That's why the last bull demon king passed the throne to Niu Hung. Hearing you say that, you seem to be very familiar with the bull clan." Hearing Zuyun's words, Zhenlongshi was also helpless and said, "Master, although I am just a stone, I am usually on the Dragon King, and the Dragon King doesn't know that I have spiritual intelligence. Otherwise, how could he abandon me in the Dragon clan's ancestral land?" Zuyun was speechless, and his heart moved, and asked, "Then you want to confront the Dragon King face to face? What is the difference between you and Niu Gang at this time?" As soon as these words came out, Zhenlongshi was silent, as if it was true. Only bystanders can see clearly when they are in the game. Zuyun continued, "If you go to the Dragon King, if the Dragon King can't give you a satisfactory answer, will you also fight with the Dragon King like Niu Gang? Let's not talk about whether you can beat the Dragon King. Even if you can, what are your plans after winning?" Zuyun's consecutive sentences immediately made Zhenlongshi fall into deep thought. "Yes, why did I go to the Dragon King? To vent? But I have developed intelligence, been nurtured by the dragon's blood, and followed my current master. Isn't it for the purpose of cultivating the great Dao one day?" Who would have thought that Zuyun's questions would make Zhenlongshi suddenly understand? What he didn't know was that Zuyun also reminded himself. When two bulls fight, no one can benefit except the nightmare demon. And he shouldn't turn a blind eye to this scene. Thinking of this, Zuyun raised his hand, and the chaos sword immediately appeared in his hand. Then, he concentrated for a moment, and then stopped angrily. "Stop!" This shout condensed some chaos power, rushed straight to the ground, and rushed into the ears of all bull monsters. The watching demon kings were shocked and looked at Zuyun. But the two bulls in the battle were unmoved. They lowered their huge heads, pointed their horns forward, and pressed them tightly together, with the hot air from their mouths constantly hitting each other's cheeks. "Master, forgive me for being blunt, you can't stop it like this. The dragon stone, which had been silent for a long time, spoke again. I understand. Zuyun grinned. Yes, how could the two bulls who got stuck in the horns hear the sound outside? As long as they didn't decide the winner, they would not stop even if Dongsheng realm was destroyed. He raised the chaos sword high, and the chaos lotus in his body began to spin wildly. The pure chaos force rushed into the 9 meridians like a gurgling spring and landed in his hands. This time, he didn't use the Wuji sword art. He wanted to use a sword to separate the fight between the two bulls. After a few breaths, the chaos sword trembled slightly, and countless chaos forces had already condensed in the sword. Zuyun held his breath until he could hardly control it, and then he slashed it in the air with the sword. This sword seemed to split the earth apart, and the chaotic force turned into sword energy, rushing straight down towards the two bulls. He did not hide the power of this move, and the two bulls woke up from their madness. Under life and death, who dares not to retreat? Just as the two bulls retreated with terrified eyes, Zuyun's sword just fell. Boom! 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 The sword force seemed to rush straight to the center of the earth. Cracks appeared on the ground, expanding and deepening. The momentum was getting louder and louder, and even under this huge power, a burst of ground fire was set off. Boom! A pillar of fire shot out from under the ground, like a curtain, directly separating the two brothers. Niu Heng's face was extremely frightened. He hadn't seen such a terrifying power for a long time. Niu Gang looked at Zuyun in disbelief and said in surprise, "Boy, it's you. You can still recognize me." Zuyun raised his eyebrows, smiled slightly, and flew in front of Niu Gang easily. "I didn't expect that you would return to Dongsheng realm after escaping from the demon refining tower." The 3 words demon refining tower seemed to be the pain in Niu Gang's heart. His face suddenly turned cold and he said, "Boy, what does it have to do with you? What does it have to do with me?" Zuyun's face became even colder, and the chaos sword thrust forward, directly on Niu Gang's forehead, between the 2 horns. The demon refining tower cannot guard against the evil thoughts of the monsters because of the departure of you monster kings. The crisis in the mortal world is caused by you. I came to Dongsheng realm to gather 12 more monster kings and go back to guard it again. This is not true. But Zuyun knew that only by alarming Niu Gang's heartstrings would he not admit his stubbornness and fight with Niu Heng. Hearing this and feeling the supreme pressure from the chaos sword, Niu Gang's eyes flashed with fear and unwillingness, but as the fire column fell, Niu Heng's figure appeared in his eyes again. "You go find him. Last time, I went to the demon refining tower, this time, let him go." You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills. Author, Banzuan Xianxia. Chapter 779. Niu Gang couldn't understand why Zuyun appeared here. Moreover, how long has it passed? How come he is already in the nascent soul stage? Comparing people with each other makes people angry. This demon is more infuriating than a human being. I remember that at the beginning, he was chased by Lao Jian, but now, he can hold a sword and crush his head. Zuyun looked at his face and saw at a glance that Niu Gang was afraid. How could he let him go? With a raised eyebrow, Zuyun said coldly, "You are familiar with this matter, of course I will find you. Recognize me as your master, and I will let you live. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude." Originally, Zuyun had the idea of collecting the 12 major demon clans to see if he could unlock the secret of destiny. When I saw Niu Gang again, everything fell into place. I can't, I have to go to the spirit world. Niu Gang subconsciously wanted to shake his head and refuse, but the coldness on his forehead kept him somewhat rational. Going to the spirit world. Zhu Yun's reaction was extremely sharp, and he said in a deep voice, "Did someone tell you that if you kill Niu Heng, you can go to the spirit world?" Zhu Yun didn't know what the spiritual passage in Dongsheng realm was like. Even the dragon suppressing stone doesn't know. But for Niu Gang, who has been trapped in the demon refining tower for thousands of years, it is an irresistible temptation. And besides the nightmare demon emperor, who else is best at this method? Yes, I met a clan member, and he said there is a way to take me to the spirit world. But the premise is, I can become the bull demon king and gain control of the clan's totem. Impossible, Niu Heng shouted loudly before Zhu Yun could say anything. There is no way the Niu clan's totem falls into your hands. Zhu Yun turned his head and thought that Niu Heng would say something else, which was related to the rise and fall of the Niu clan, but he never thought that Niu Heng's next words would almost make him angry. That's the symbol of the bull demon emperor. It's mine and I can't give it to you. Zhu Yun forced himself to calm down. What about Niu Heng? He had no hope anymore. He might as well deal with Niu Gang and then go find the nightmare himself. Originally, this was the purpose of following him. In this way, if you accept me as your master, I will take you to the spiritual world one day. Zhu Yun stared at a pair of big bull's eyes and said, "You'll take me there?" Niu Gang was overjoyed at first, and then doubted, "You just said that you wanted to take me back to guard the demon saint's evil thoughts." Zhu Yun suddenly couldn't laugh or cry. He just wanted to scare Niu Gang, but now he spilled the beans. But in this case, he firmly refused to admit that he was wrong. "If you don't recognize me as your master, I will naturally take you to the demon refining tower. If you recognize me as your master, then I will take you to the spirit world. So, these are two choices, you can decide on your own." Niu Gang thought about it seriously and said, "Then I will definitely recognize you as my master. But there is a condition." Zhu Yun interrupted him unceremoniously and said coldly, "Since you recognize me as your master, do you still dare to make conditions with me?" Niu Gang's expression changed, he showed a flattering smile, and quickly explained, "Actually, it's not a condition, master. Don't you want to take me to the spirit world? Then who will guard the demon refining tower? I think Niu Heng is the best. It's appropriate. Why don't you arrest him?" Zhu Yun was stunned for a moment after hearing this bad idea. Kill two birds with one stone. However, since Niu Gang recognized his master, he would naturally not let Niu Gang play a farce here again. He immediately raised his hand and took Niu Gang into the fairy mansion. Immediately afterwards, Zhu Yun thought again, and Lao Jin appeared in front of him. "Owner." When Lao Jin saw the strange atmosphere around him, he called out softly, and without hesitation transformed into his true form, entwining himself layer by layer, protecting Zhu Yun in the middle, and raised his huge dragon head, staring at the most breathtaking person. The powerful Niu Heng. "It's okay, no fighting." Zhu Yun felt warm in his heart and chuckled, "I just took Lao Niu in. You two are familiar with each other in the demon refining tower. Please tell him the rules inside." Lao Jin was stunned for a moment, then looked very embarrassed and said, "Master, why did you bring Lao Niu in? He is a fool." Zhu Yun smiled and said, "It's okay, he is disobedient. You and Lao Ma Lao Zhu join forces to beat him. I will pretend that I didn't see it." Lao Jin also couldn't laugh or cry. After responding, Zhu Yun also took him back. Those demon kings, including Niu Heng, all looked at Zhu Yun blankly. Not only did Lao Jin appear, but it also reminded them that Lao Ma was also missing. Little fellow Taoist, what about Ma Rong?" The oldest bull demon king stepped forward and asked in a low voice. "Ma Rong?" Zhu Yun chuckled and said, "I can control beasts and have the space to control them, so I naturally put them inside. Of course, your demon emperor can rest assured that no one will come to take his throne." This was originally a teasing tone, but Niu Hung couldn't hear it at all. He immediately turned into his true form, walked up to Zhu Yun without knowing it and laughed, "Little brother, you did me Niu Hung a big favor. This is a favor that I, the Niu clan, owe you." Zhu Yun sighed in his heart. "I really don't care about the favors from your Niu tribe. Just don't get in my way later." He calmly dodged away and said to Niu Hung, "I still have something to do with you. Where is the person who asked you to go to the Ma clan's ancestral land?" He was very sure that the Nightmare Demon King must have left. But when you enter the ancestral land of the Niu clan, you may be able to find some clues. Not to mention anything else, he still has 3 dogs. But then again, the 3 dogs are transformed into spiritual beasts, and I don't know what they have to do with the Dog Demon clan. That man is in our Demon Emperor's palace. You have helped me a lot, I will take you there now. Niu Hung seemed to be in a good mood, as if he had forgotten what had just happened, and his arrogance had disappeared. If an uninformed person saw them, they would think that Zhu Yun and Niu Hung were close friends for many years. Zhu Yun was too lazy to say another word to the idiot. His only target was the Nightmare Demon Emperor. And when Niu Hung and Zhu Yun rushed to the Demon Emperor's palace in the ancestral land, a figure appeared not far away. "This boy is very capable, especially that sword, which can withstand so much chaos power. If I can get that sword, the chaos power that I cultivated from the 5 elements Chaos Sutra may have real power. The place of use. It's none other than the Nightmare Demon King who has transformed into a human." Zhu Yun looked at a dilapidated stone house and sighed secretly. I shouldn't believe what Niu Hung said. What Demon Emperor's palace? This is not even comparable to the dry toilets in ordinary people's homes. Except that it is several times larger than the aqua toilet, it doesn't look like a palace. But he soon felt relieved. Compared with the cowshed where ordinary demon kings live, this is worthy of the word palace. "Little brother, we, the Ox clan, are very hospitable. Come on, come in, and take a look." Niu Hung was so enthusiastic that Zhu Yun didn't want to go in at all. But I couldn't help but think of the Horse clan's totem pole, and I knew some of the wonderful uses of that thing. I thought that if I could see the Ox clan's totem pole, it would be an eye-opener. After all, if you gather the 12 clans, you might be able to know the destiny. Maybe the secret of destiny has something to do with the totems of various races. In fact, Zhu Yun was not particularly interested in the word destiny. He just heard that he happened to be in Dongsheng realm, and he wanted to go to the ancestral land of the 12 demon clans, so it was a good idea. It doesn't take much time. To him, cultivation of immortality is going against nature. Since it was against the will of heaven, he felt that at most he only needed to understand a little bit about destiny. After following Niu Hung into the stone house, Zhu Yun couldn't bear to look directly at him. Apart from a vague smell, there is nothing else to describe inside. However, there is one thing to say: inside this broken stone house, there is another space, which is far not as narrow as it looks from the outside. It is obviously where the formation is located. This is not surprising. After all, they are also one of the 12 tribes that bear the destiny. Zhu Yun followed Niu Hung and looked around. Not long after walking, he turned to another house. "Little brother, let me tell you, the human race is in here, and the totem of our cattle race is also in it." Niu Hung changed from his normal state and whispered in Zhu Yun's ear. Zhu Yun was non-committal. In his opinion, the nightmare demon was definitely not here anymore. Judging from his experience in fighting against the nightmare demon has even left the ancestral land of the Niu clan long ago and gone to another tribe to plan ways to deal with him. "Okay, don't be so nervous, he's not in there." Zhu Yun waved his hand impatiently, and pushed the stone door directly regardless of Niu Hung's reaction. Niu Hung was dumbfounded. "I even whispered to you, so why didn't you push it in secretly?" Subconsciously, Niu Hung reached out and touched his two big axes. If they really got into a fight, he had to look for self-preservation first. As a result, everything was as expected by Zhu Yun. There was no one in the house. It was still so messy. Zhu Yun looked around calmly, trying to find the totem of the Ox clan. Niu Hung was also a little dumbfounded and asked blankly, "Where are the people?" Zhu Yun sneered, "Do you think others are like you, staying here to die? That's the Nightmare Demon, or the Nightmare Demon Emperor. What do you think?" "What? Nightmare Demon King?" Niu Hung immediately took a breath of cold air. He only knew that Zhu Yun said it was the Nightmare Demon, but he didn't hear it being the Nightmare Demon Emperor. "Nonsense, otherwise I will follow you." Zhu Yun ducked into the house and said, "Where is your totem? Show it to me." There." Niu Hung came to his senses, pointed to a corner and said, then walked over and rummaged around. Zhu Yun also stared, "Good guy, forget it, your house is like a garbage dump. The totem of your cattle tribe is also thrown in here." Just like that, Zhu Yun saw Niu Hung rummaging around for a long time, and finally took out a copper ring-shaped thing from the bottom, and stuffed it into Zhu Yun's hand casually. "Well, that's it. Just look at it, it's not of much use." Zhu Yun was speechless for a while. No matter how he looked at it, he felt that this was like a nose ring hanging on a cow's nose. "You're not mistaken." Zhu Yun looked at it for a long time and didn't see why, so he raised his head and asked, "No, this is the totem of our Ox clan. I can't remember it wrong. This is the one my father passed down to me back then." Niu Hung couldn't help but feel dissatisfied when he saw that Zhu Yun didn't believe in him. "I started my cultivation by picking up the immortal skills." Author, Banzhuan Xianxia. Chapter 780. Zhu Yun was very suspicious. With Niu Hung's mind, his father must have changed the totem. Compared to the totem poles of the horse clan, although they seemed ordinary, Zhu Yun felt that there was a mysterious power on them. On the other hand, this nose ring looks more like it is made of ordinary iron. But seeing that Niu Hung was talking too much, Zhu Yun couldn't say anything, so he just threw the nose ring back. "Okay, since the Nightmare Demon Emperor is not here, it's time for me to leave." "Leaving?" Niu Hung was stunned and said, "You're already here, how many days are you waiting? Our Niu clan has not had a human come here for a long time." Zhu Yun curled his lips and said, "I have important matters at hand, so I ask the Ox Emperor to forgive me. That Nightmare Demon is planning something evil. If we don't deal with him as soon as possible, I'm afraid I won't be able to sleep well." Okay then, seeing that Zhu Yun had decided to leave, Niu Hung didn't force him to stay, so he said politely, "Otherwise, I plan to set up a banquet and thank you properly for taking Niu Gang away, so that there is no threat to my throne." Zhu Yun shook his head helplessly, turned around and walked outside. Niu Hung seemed to have forgotten that the nose ring was still in his hand and followed him. Walking out of this so-called palace, a group of bull demon kings had been waiting for a long time. "Hey, Demon King, why did you take this thing out?" The old Niu Yao saw the nose ring in Niu Hung's hand at a glance. "Isn't this little brother in a hurry to leave? I forgot to put it back." Niu Hung disapproved and threw the copper ring to the old bull demon and said, "You put this totem back, I want to give my little brother a ride." "Totem?" The faces of all the demon kings changed. After the old bull demon took the nose ring, he asked in shock, "Demon King, do you think this is a totem? What's wrong with you?" Seeing the reaction of all his subordinates, Niu Xiang said dissatisfiedly, "You are still the Demon King. You don't even recognize our Niu tribe's totem, and you are not afraid of the jokes of your little brothers." "No, Demon King," the old bull demon said quickly, "this is not a totem. This is the toy you and Niu Gang had back then." "What? No." Not only was Niu Hung confused, but Zhu Yun was also confused. This demon king is really powerful. He doesn't even know the totems of his own clan? Admire. Yes, the totem is behind the demon emperor's palace, it's the ox head pillar. The old new demon was so angry and funny that he didn't care about the following mistakes. He pulled Niu Hung up and bypassed the demon emperor's palace and walked to the back. Zuyun followed leisurely. He felt that he would be skeptical whenever Niu Hung spoke to him in the future. It's not that Niu Hung can deceive people, it's actually that his brain is a bit touching. Demon Emperor, our totem is there. The old bull demon stared at Niu Hung, with a look of hatred on his face, and pointed to an open space and said. Zuyun looked confused, is there something there? Didn't you just say, Niu Xiaozu? Uncle, please don't lie to me. There is nothing there. Are you telling me about totems? Niu Hung's face was full of dissatisfaction, feeling that the old Niu demon was lying to him. The old bull demon finally got angry, open your eyes and take a look. Didn't you see such a big bull-headed pillar? Demon Emperor, you. As he said that, he also raised his head, and the scolding stopped abruptly. Where's the totem pole? He was also dumbfounded and couldn't help but exclaimed. Niu Hung still didn't understand why, he groaned and said, Uncle, your eyes are really dim. Do you think I don't know if there is a ox head pillar here? How could this be a totem? Zuyun faintly pointed to a ring mark left there, which must have been left by the removal of the pillar, and said faintly, could it have been stolen by the nightmare demon? As soon as these words came out, the whole audience was silent. Except for Niu Hung, the other Niu demon kings certainly knew that this was a totem pole. It is impossible for the Ox clan to steal this totem, so only the nightmare demon who came earlier and pretended to be a human monk is the most likely. Zuyun sighed, he was also a little confused. It's not that the Niu tribe is so careless. Rather, the nightmare demon had the opportunity to steal the totem pole from the horse clan, so why didn't he steal it and instead stole the totem pole from the Ox clan? Is the totem pole of the Ox tribe special? Not necessarily. So, it is obvious that he wants to take advantage of the Niu clan and has an ulterior motive. Perhaps, it was him again. He calmed down for a moment and then said, Demon King, and all the Demon Kings, I am going to find the nightmare demon. If possible, I will help you find the totem pole and return it to its original owner. After that, he stopped staying here, got up and flew away. After staying away from here, Zuyun asks Yang Zhenlongxi, is there a totem pole in the dragon clan's ancestral land? Yes, Zhenlongxi said, the totem pole was taken away by the dragon king. However, I don't know what the totem pole does. Zuyun asked again, is the totem pole of the dragon clan the dragon head pillar? Yes, as far as I know, the totems of each clan are in the shape of pillars. I heard the bull demon emperor say it before, and I almost suspected that I remembered it wrong. Zhenlong Stone is also quite helpless. Zuyun pondered for a moment and said, what will happen if the totem poles of the 12 tribes are gathered together? Think about it carefully. Zhenlongxi said helplessly, Master, I really don't know. The Dragon Emperor doesn't mention totem poles very much. Even the younger members of the clan think that totem poles are just objects of worship used in their sacrifices. Of course, the magical effect of this is only the Dragon King can know. Zuyun was silent, and he vaguely felt that perhaps the totem pole could find information related to the destiny. Even if he was not interested in destiny, at this moment, because the nightmare demon had taken away the totem pole, he could not help but have this thought in his heart. Destiny, what exactly is it? Master, you said you wanted to find the nightmare demon, but the Dongsheng realm is so big, and I haven't seen you looking for clues from the Niu clan. How can you find it? The words of Zhenlong Stone brought Zuyun back from his thoughts, and he saw that he was confident and said, the nightmare demon has controlled you for the longest time. Guess where he will go? Zhenlongxi said, I have never left the Dongsheng realm, how can I know his thoughts? Previously, he forced the dragon clan away and occupied the mountain as king. The other demon clan did not know about it, so he could do whatever he wanted in the dragon clan's ancestral land, but what? But what's strange is that there are more than 1,000 nightmare demons in the tribe, but he has never been seen bringing anyone to the dragon clan's ancestral land. Isn't this simple? Zuyun laughed and said, there is only one possibility. It is the territory of the nightmare monster, which is far away from the dragon clan's ancestral land. If they form a group, I am afraid they will be discovered by the other monster clan and annihilated in one fell swoop. But now, the nightmare demon has learned human skills and can transform into humans without losing his breath. If you don't get rid of him as soon as possible, you will know the consequences. Zhenlongshi remembered that Zuyun had said this, but returned to the original question, Master, how do you go after the nightmare demon? As you said, what is the purpose of the nightmare demon taking the totem pole? It's not difficult to track down the nightmare demon. The key is, I also want to know the function of the totem pole. Only in this way can we analyze the nightmare demon's true purpose, so that we can prescribe the right medicine to prevent it from running around like a headless sparrow. While speaking, Zuyun stretched out his hand and summoned Niu Gang out. I've met the master. Niu Gang lowered his head and bowed his head. It was obvious that he was convinced by the other demon kings in the pasture. Following Zuyun, maybe one day we can really go to the spirit world and cultivate to the realm of demon saint. Tell me about the situation of the nightmare. Zuyun stood still and asked calmly. Nightmare. It took a few breaths for Niu to react before he realized that the human race who had given him the thumbs up was the nightmare demon, so he immediately told the truth about what happened at that time. Zuyun broke into a cold sweat after hearing this. It turned out that after Niu Gang came out of the demon refining tower and traveled to the Yao realm, he heard the news that he could return to the Dongsheng realm, so he crossed Bingzhou to the Wild Sea, and then detoured to the sea to land from the ancestral land of the Dragon Clan. Naturally, he met the Nightmare Demon. Although the Nightmare Demon had not yet practiced the 5 elements of Chaos Sutra at that time and could not completely hold his breath, the Ox Clan Demon cultivator's sense of smell was not too sensitive, so he did not notice the Nightmare Demon in human form, so he regarded him as an ordinary person. The human race experienced in this adventure. And as soon as he landed ashore and set foot on the land of Dongsheng realm again, he was naturally a little excited, but he was deceived by the Nightmare Demon's sweet words. The Nightmare Demon took advantage of Niu Gang to regain the position of Demon King, and was afraid that Niu Hung's strength was far greater than his own. He deceived Niu Gang into practicing, and when he had the opportunity, he would look for Niu Gang and help Niu Gang. It was a chess piece that was inadvertently buried at that time that was used when Zuyun moved from the ancestral land of the Ma tribe to the ancestral land of the Niu tribe. What a deep scheming! Fortunately, I have the ability to protect myself. Zuyun took a deep breath and thought to himself that Niu Gang was indeed gifted. When he came out of the demon refining tower, his strength was no different from other demon kings. At that time, he was facing a demon king. Although he had to flee in embarrassment, he still had the power to fight back. Otherwise, how could he defeat Lao Jin? But now, he is in the nascent soul realm. Not only does he have more methods, but he is also stronger, but he can only defeat Niu Hung with the power of the Chaos Sword and the Wuji Sword technique. In such a comparison, Niu Gang's talent is evident. Master, please forgive me, my subordinates didn't know that the man was transformed by a nightmare demon. Niu Gang was still somewhat afraid that Zuyun would punish him for this, so he couldn't help but explain carefully. Zuyun knew that the big stick had been given and his power had been established. Now he wanted to give him some dates to eat, so he pretended to be relaxed and said, "It's okay, I'm not blaming you, but I'm just asking you for some information. Now the nightmare monster is on his own. The ancestral land of the Niu clan ran away and took the totem pole with it. Who came back with you? Niu Gang blurted out, Brother Yang came back with me. Brother Xiao Yang. He is from the Sheep clan. I have had a close relationship with him since we were young. Originally, it was Brother Dayang who was sent to the demon refining tower, but Brother Yang was afraid that I would be bullied by Brother Dayang, so he took the initiative to join me and switched with Brother Dayang. Finally we went to the demon refining tower together. Sheep tribe. Zhu Yun's eyes widened and he said, in that case, then you can lead the way and take me to find your little brother Yang. Yes, master. After knowing that the other party was a nightmare demon, Niu Gang's eyes were extremely cold. Since the nightmare demon may have used me, it is also possible that he may have used Brother Yang.